Viva Las Vegas is the 6th episode of the Tortellis, and this episode is okay. I didn't love it. I don't know if I'd say it's my least favourite so far, but I personally didn't care for it very much. And I guess that's largely because I'm not a tremendously big Elvis fan. I don't mind Elvis. I have nothing against Elvis. I just wouldn't consider myself particularly a fan. Nick brings somebody back to the house, and this is an Elvis impersonator, and Nick is going to manage him, and he thinks he's going to make him a huge success. And Elvis, who is played by, Elvis is impersonated by Sebastian, who is played by Fred Travalena. And he spends a lot of time in the house, and I have to say he does a pretty good job. Granted, as I said, I'm not a huge Elvis fan, so I don't watch a lot of Elvis's movements and things. But in general, to me, it looked pretty decent. But if you have any thoughts on that, please feel free to let me know. I did like the costume, and there will be some spoilers as I explain a little bit about what happens. But honestly, as I said, I didn't really love it too much, so I don't have that many thoughts. Sebastian is very taken with Charlotte, and Charlotte is kind of unsure of how she feels about that. And she talks with Sebastian, who actually would rather sing opera. He's a brilliant opera singer, and Charlotte is able to kind of talk him into doing that, and he gets a chance to showcase his talents. I know I said spoilers. I won't say exactly how it comes about, but it kind of backfires on Nick, because Nick has a scheme to try and make Sebastian a successful, famous Elvis impersonator, but instead he ends up getting a chance to sing opera. And I didn't mind the character. I thought Sebastian was interesting enough, but a lot of this is focused on Sebastian and Charlotte and their interactions. And while I don't mind Charlotte, out of the main cast members, or the main characters at least, I'd say she's probably the most boring. I think Nick, Loretta, Anthony, and Annie and Mark, including Mark, I think are just significantly more interesting. I don't dislike Charlotte, just like I don't dislike Elvis, but I don't particularly find her that interesting. So when we're focusing a lot on Charlotte and the Elvis impersonator, I just wasn't that bothered. I didn't mind the direction it took. I think everything worked well enough. But in general, it's an okay episode. I personally didn't get very much out of it, but I didn't dislike it. I wasn't not enjoying it, but at the same time, it wasn't that enjoyable. Hopefully you'll know what I mean by that. It was fine. It was pleasant enough. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just didn't care for it that much. Viva Las Vegas is an okay episode of the Tortellis, and it's one of those ones where I don't really have that many positive things to say, but I don't really have anything negative to say either. It's just a fine episode. I wouldn't watch it again, but Viva Las Vegas, all things considered, is not too bad.